One of the biggest challenges of using the loops out of the loop browser in GarageBand is getting them to seamlessly blend into the rest of your song, especially at the endings of those loops. You may have already encountered this where you play a loop and then you get to the end of it and it ends really cold and sharply and hard, and basically it doesn't blend in with the rest of your song. Today, I'm going to give you two really easy things to do to hopefully give you some ideas on ways to make those loops blend properly. So let's get to it. Okay, so we're going to be using a song that I released this week as an example. This is from Siempre Más, which I had a lot of fun making, but there were a few loops in there, so I'm going to answer a couple of questions I know about the song specifically. There was a couple of loops, I think at least one. And the one that I was using was the smooth jazz piano loop that sounds like this. Right? I can't play piano that quickly or that well, so I was happy to have found this loop. Now, at the end of the loop, it sounds like this. Right? It's a little jarring. In the entire mix, it sounds like this. Okay, so granted, it's not terrible, but there are better ways of getting out of this, okay? So the first example that I want to show you is this, okay? So here's what I did. I opened up a regular piano software instrument track, and all I did was hit the last, I believe, 3 octaves. So if we check this MIDI file here, there should be 3 notes. Yes, there are only 3 notes. So I played the 3 E's that are there, right? Those are the last hits. And when they're blended in, basically all I did was go blang, and they were able to fade out. So here's what that sounds like. Pretty easy, right? All you got to do is find the sound of the loop that you're using and then hit that last chord out by yourself. In this case, I had it panned a little to the left, so I had to make sure that the part that I played was also panned to the left. But in theory and in practice, it totally blends in. I just needed to fade out in that section. Now, that's example number 1. Example number 2 that I'm going to give you here is a little bit different, and it is this. It's going to end with a delay, and it's going to sound like this. Okay, so here's what I did to make that happen. I came in here up to the loop itself, okay? And let's look at it here, where I took it out of. So as you can see in this particular, it's the same loop, but it's just stretched out so you can see. This is the note that I needed, right? Just this last little chord right here. So I cut it out with a Command T. I split it. I split the track and I removed this. And then I dragged it down to here, okay? So which is just so you can see it there. If I wanted to do that, there it is, okay? Now I've already done it, so I don't need to do it again. But on this particular track, I added a delay, okay? So if we go up to my plugins that are being used on this particular track, you will see that, well, in this particular case, I'm using the repeater, which comes from Slate Digital. On the left side, I have it playing 1/8 notes. On the right side, I have it playing 1/4 notes. I have them panned out, not hard left and right, but sort of, you know, what, this is 9 and 3 o'clock, I guess. And the mix is around, I don't know, we'll say 55%-ish, okay? So what this particular effect does is still continue a rhythm. And you can do this in GarageBand with the stereo delay. You can set, you know, 1/4 notes and 1/8 notes left and right, okay? So this is something you could totally recreate using the GarageBand plugins. But it's another way to get that sound to fade out, okay? So here it is again, one more time, just so you can hear it. And let's just play, actually, let's just play those. It's this one. Maybe without that MIDI track. Okay. The thing that I liked personally about that one a little bit better is that since this was a very rhythmic part, the idea of the piano ending with a rhythmic delay really seemed appropriate to me. So those are just 2 ways. If anybody else has come up with interesting ways to end these loops, please leave it in the comments for the other people to see, because, you know, this is how we all learn. We learn from each other. I'm giving you some examples here, and maybe you guys have some good ideas on how you've ended your own loops. I'd love to see them, so please leave them in the comment section below. So short little video for you guys today, but I do think this is something that people may have struggled with in the past. So hopefully I've given you some ideas on how to get those loops to seamlessly blend into your own tracks. You guys, as always, thank you so much for watching my channel, Garageband and Beyond here. I really appreciate that you watch it. I really appreciate the patrons on my Patreon page who keep this thing floating. I appreciate all of it. The viewership, the comments, the people who join me on Facebook. Oh, hey, Facebook people. I think I'm only like 25, maybe 30 people away from getting 5,000 people on Facebook. So if you haven't joined me on the Facebook page, hey, head over there. I only need like 30 people to hit 5,000, and I was looking at that today. Maybe it's under 30, but anyway. Join me on Facebook. I'll talk to you later, you guys, all right? Peace and love.